In this video, we're going to take a look at the campground at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Today we're going to take a look at the campground at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Guys, this is an awesome place to camp. If you haven't seen our camping video from FDR State Park, I'm going to put a link right up here so you can check that out. And guys, just some cool history before we get into the review. This park was named for our president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who used to come to the area to be treated for polio. So if you don't know, FDR wore braces on his legs and was oftentimes in a wheelchair due to childhood polio. They thought that the warm springs around that area of Georgia were a good treatment for polio back in the day. So he would go down there to get treatment for polio and fell in love with the area. And so he would visit and spend some time in areas that became the park. And so the park is named after him. Really cool park, really cool history, but let's get into the review. FD Roosevelt State Park is located in Pine Mountain, Georgia, and it's easily accessed by Atlanta or Montgomery or Birmingham, Alabama, and is an awesome place in western Georgia. FD Roosevelt State Park is a very large state park with lots to see and do, and it is a hiker's dream. Tons and tons of hiking trails. The campground is located where the red arrow is pointing, and it is quite a large campground, and it's right on Delano Lake. Here's a look at the campground map. So as you can see, there are lots of sites with the lake and some cabins. Really cool place. Let's take a look at the trading post. The red arrow indicates the location of the trading post. The trading post is not open all the time, so be sure to check the hours as posted on the door. But it's a great place if you forgot any of your camping essentials, or you want to get a snack or a souvenir, some camping supplies. Whatever you need, the trading post has it. So definitely check it out when you're there. Just a cool little shop. Here are the restroom facilities in the campground. This campground has a number of restrooms. All of them are full-service restrooms with running water, hot showers, and flush toilets. And they're indicated by the red arrows. Here's a look at some of the restrooms from the outside. This is a newer style restroom that you find in Georgia State Parks, as well as some of the older style restrooms. I didn't take photos of all of them, but here are 3 examples. And these restrooms also usually have laundry facilities, and they're coin operated. Here's a look inside one of the restrooms, and this is the male side. Sorry ladies, I never go in the women's restroom. I don't want to hear screaming, but it's a pretty typical restroom set up with some urinals and then some toilet stalls, one of them being handicapped accessible, and then some standard stalls, as you can see. The restrooms are usually kept pretty clean in Georgia State Parks. The camp hosts do a fantastic job. And then here's another one. This is a handicapped restroom and shower. And then the last one here is going to be a shower stall. So as I said, these restrooms are usually kept really clean, really nice. I love camping in Georgia State Parks because they have good restroom facilities. The campground is right on Lake Delano. Check it out. The red arrow indicates a fishing dock area where you can just fish off the pier, or they have some paddle boats for rent. We'll take a look at the lake here. So there's the fishing dock. And then there's a restroom facility here. So it's a great place to just hang out and look at the lake. Of course, this is a man-made lake. I'm guessing it was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. And there are some paddle boat pontoons that you can rent if you want to paddle around the lake. They also have some canoes and kayaks for rent. I love it when there's a lake near the campground because it gives you something to hike around or something to fish from, or in the summertime, a lot of these lakes have swimming beaches. That's a look at Lake Delano. There are several picnic pavilions in the park. Let's take a look. The picnic pavilions in this campground are all indicated by the red arrow. There's one over by the playground, and then they're scattered through the campground itself. These picnic pavilions are really nice when you're camping in groups. So we've used them before when we wanted to cook a meal with some friends and needed to get out of some weather. It's a great place to just sit and hang out. So, and they're not used very often either. So they always seem to be available, or at least I can always find one available if I need one. So it's kind of nice to have these picnic pavilions in the campground. So if you're planning an experience where you're camping with friends, maybe grab one of these pavilions to do a large cookout. They usually have big grills next to them, charcoal grills, that kind of thing. Or you can bring in your own cooking appliances. I bring my camp stoves up there all the time. This park has a great playground. Check it out. This campground actually has two playgrounds. The first is up at the northern end of the 200 loop in the campground, indicated by the red arrow. We'll take a look at this playground. So it's made up of an artificial turf with some swings and some climbing apparatus and some slides. Nice for little kids, with some seats for parents to sit on. Really nice little campground playground. My youngest son used to love these playgrounds. We would spend hours on these things. And of course, it's right next to one of the restroom facilities as well, which is really nice. The second playground is down by the lake, indicated by the red arrow. It's also near the amphitheater and one of the picnic pavilions. And here is a look at that playground. So just a small little climbing apparatus and some slides, but a great thing for entertaining the kids. And next to the playground is the amphitheater. And so the amphitheater is indicated by the red arrow. You can access the amphitheater from the same parking lot as the playground. And this is a great amphitheater, nice and big. And I always imagine amphitheaters being used for scouting programs and that kind of thing. So from the parking lot, there's a little trail up to the amphitheater, and we're going to take that trail. There's also some picnic tables. And so it's a little hike up to the amphitheater, but it's not far, just a couple of steps. And it looks like this trail is lit at night, so you can use it at night if you need to. There's a little restroom facility off to the right there. That's what that little shack is. So it's a nice little walk up. There's the restroom. And it isn't just scouts that use these amphitheaters. I was camping in a campground that was having a meetup for antique travel trailers. So like Airstreams and other types of antique travel trailers. And the club that was putting on the meetup was doing seminars on trailer restorations in the amphitheaters, which was pretty cool. So if you're camping with a group and you want to hold some kind of public gathering, these amphitheaters are great for that. So here's a great look at the amphitheater, nice wood deck platform, and then stadium style seating. So just a really, really nice amphitheater if you are going to be camping with a group and need an amphitheater for whatever you're doing. Here's a look at the dump station. The dump station is a very, very important part of any campground if you're an RVer or you have a camper or a travel trailer. So the dump station is indicated by the red arrow, and it's a pretty standard dump station. It's got 2 lanes, so you can take 2 travel trailers, and then of course it's got water for washing as well as potable water. Let's take a drive-in tour of the campground. So this is a large campground, so we're going to break it up into chunks, and we're going to follow the path with the red arrows. We're going to start off by entering into the campground. We're going to go past the cottages. So if you turn right there, that takes you into some of the cabins or cottages. And so turning left there would take you down into the area for the amphitheater, some of the picnic pavilions, and the playground. Off to the right there is access to the lake. And so we're going to drive over the dam and head into the main portion of the campground. And as we come up to the spillway here, we're going to keep right into the first part of the campground. So this will be the 100s section. So that is campsite 101 we just passed. And here we're going to hang a right. So that should be site 103. As you can see, there are lots of sites in here. So we're going to kind of snake our way down along the path that's right along the lake. So these are like sites 113 and 114. I think that's 113 there. That site is 114. So you can see these are really, really narrow sites right on the water. He put that giant RV in there. But hey, if it fits, got a water view. So I think this site coming up on the right is site 115. And then site 116. As we make our way up the hill, that was site 117. We're going to turn back on the main campground road, and then we're going to cover the rest of the sites in the 100s. So this road is a two-way road. The road we were just on was one way in the 100 section, but since this is a main road through the campground, it's 2 ways. There's a restroom facility up on the right side that serves the 100s and the 600s for the campground. So the sites we're passing there are sites 109 to 102, and those are pull-through sites. have to negotiate a little bit of park traffic here. And so we're going to turn back in and cover the middle road through the 100s. So we're going to follow that red path in the direction of the red arrow. So here we go to make our turn. That should be Site 102 off to the left. And then Site 104. But those are pull-through sites. And instead of hanging a right here to go down by the lake, we're going to go right up this center road. So that should be 108 on the right there. So we're passing 110, 111, 112 off to the right. I think that was 111. So as you can see, these sites are pretty small. And you definitely want a small pop-up unit or a tent or something like that. I think that was 112. If you have a big RV or travel trailer, there are other sections of the campground that are much more fitting than this one. Okay, so now we are going to head into the 200s, and the 200s is a pretty large section of the campground, and so we're going to go around the inner loop there and follow the path with the red arrows. So as you can see, this is a one-way road. As we're making our way through here, you can see that some of these sites down in this corner here are on the lake. And these are all back-end sites. There might be a pull-through site or two. I think 203 is a pull-through site, but okay, so we're going to hang a left here and go up the center of the 200s. So that should be 210 on the right there. So as we climb the hill, you can see off to the left there is one of the picnic pavilions and a little parking area. That's Site 214 on the left. And then passing 217 on the left there. Alright, so we're going to hang a left here, and we're going to continue on down past Site 220. There's one of the playgrounds on the left. And then one of the restroom facilities on the left. That restroom pretty much serves all of the 200s. And as we make our way down the hill, we're going to come back to where we entered the 200s. So we are going to go into the outer loop of the 200s now. So instead of bisecting the 200s by going up the middle road, we are going to do the outer loop. So we're passing sites 204 and 205 on the right there. I think that one's 206. And then instead of continuing on through the middle of the campground, we are going to hang a right onto this gravel road. And this takes us into the 300s. So most of these are back-end sites. I think that was 302. And we're climbing the hill here. 305 to the left. You can see our Kodiak canvas tent and the cargo camper off to the right there. That was our campsite. There's the main restroom facility for the 300s section of the campground. Also could service some of the 200s there. And as we make the turn, continuing uphill, here's another one of the picnic pavilions. Site 313 to the left. .314 to the left. 315 to the right. Okay, and then when we come up to this intersection, if we were to hang a right, we would go into the Pioneer campsites. But there was a gate there, and it was closed. So we're going to continue on down the hill. Now we're back into the northern side of the 200s again, passing the restroom that we saw before. That should be site 226 there on the right. And so we've completed that loop. So it's time to go check out the 500 loop of the campground. So we're going to follow the path with the red arrows and hit the 500 loop. So as we turn out of the 200 loop, off to the left there is the trading post, as well as some dumpsters to get rid of your trash. This is also the road that you would travel on to go to the dump station. So it's a little bit of a drive to get up to the 500 loop. And if you go straight here, there's the dump station off to the left, and then that is one of the exits to the campground. Would take you to the Liberty Bell pool if you were interested in going that way. But we're going to turn off to the left here and then do the loop around the 500s. So this is a pretty nice little loop. I think these are some of the nicest sites in the campground. Of course, it's pretty far away from the lake, so if you wanted a lake view, you're pretty far away from that. But these sites are a little bit bigger. A lot of them are pull-through, as you can see. So pretty nice sites. I think that's 504 on the left there. 506 on the left. So again, a nice little camping area. And all these sites are equipped with a picnic table and a fire pit with grill grate. They have water and electric hookup. I don't think any of the sites in this campground have sewer hookup, but some of them might. I'm not sure. I think a couple of them actually do. I think a handful of them in the hundreds have full hookup, but so as we make our way around this circle, that was 518 on the left there. So we've almost come all the way around this circle. There's a handicap site off to the left there. And that's a look at the 500s. So we're going to head out of the 500s and we're going to head down into the 600s. So we'll follow the path with the red arrows and hit the last section of the campground. So if we went off to the left, that is the exit out of the campground and the dump station. Instead, we're going to hang a right and head back towards the trading post. And if we go behind the trading post, we will get into the 600s. And there are a lot of wildlife in these woods. We saw a fox in this campground, which was pretty cool. So as we pass the dumpsters on the right that are just off camera, there's the trading post and the parking lot for the trading post, and then we're going to go into camping area number 6. So these sites are really set up for tent camping. You might be able to park a small pop-up in some of these places, but pretty much set up for tent camping. So we just passed site 601. I think that's 602. 603 on the left there. As you can see, these are pretty much set up for tent campers. But you could put a little teardrop or a pop-up or something in some of these sites if you needed to. There is the newest restroom facility. That should be site 610, I think, or maybe 609, I can't remember. That's 611 on the left there. If you're looking for a good little spot for tent camping, I would look in the 600s. Okay, we just passed site 616 on the right there, so we're going to exit out of the 600s and head out of the campground. So as we turn out of the 600s, we are passing all those pull-through sites that are like 109 to 102 off to the left there. And as we make our way out of the campground, you're going to see the lake again and the dam road cross over the spillway. And we're heading back towards the amphitheater, the fishing pier, and the cottages. And that's a driving tour of the campground at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that review of Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park's campground, and I hope you found it useful so that you can plan your trip next time you're looking for a great place to camp in Georgia. And guys, if you want the mountain experience but don't want to have to go all the way to North Georgia, I highly recommend the Pine Mountain area, and I highly recommend FDR State Park. What a great place to camp. And I mean, you feel like you're in the Appalachians even though you're not. So really, really cool place to go. I highly, highly recommend it. And guys, Camp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. That's why we do these campground reviews, to make it easier for you to select places to go camping with your kids. So if you have any questions about FDR State Park or camping in general, or really anything outdoor related, drop something in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can hit us up at our other social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Or you can connect with us at our website at campoutside.com. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe and that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos. We are going to be bringing you more campground reviews from all over the United States as we keep on camping. So guys, thanks for watching Camp Outside. It means the world to me. We'll see you next time.